ours. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. And mighty be her power, and mighty be her power. 1, 2, 3, 4. In joy and gladness, with hearts united, we'll shout the freedom of our rights united. Long live Liberia, happy land, this home of glory, a liberty of God's command. This home of glory, a liberty of God's command. All here.
Yahweh, you are too much for me. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh, Yahweh, you are too much for me. Hey, Yahweh, oh, you are too much for me. Jehovah Elohim God, you are too much for me. Jehovah Rabboni, you are too much for me. Ancients of days, you are too much for me. When I was down, you lifted me up.
if you're just tuning in, this is School Online 2, and we're live from the GSA Road community where members of the All Saints Assembly, aka Holiness Church, have gone and defied authority today. They've assembled in their numbers to come and have service here. And the police politely told them not to assemble like this, and he spoke with the leaders, spoke with the pastors, but they were in strict defiance, and they defied. So because they defied, the leaders of the church branch here, All Saints Assembly, GSA Road, they've been arrested, and the pastors have been arrested here. They've been packed in this car, in the police vehicle, and the members.
Sister, please go home. You are baby man. Please go home. Listen, you are baby man. Please go home. Please. Mama, you take out a baby. Yeah, please leave. Yeah, listen. No, don't trust me. Keep the distance. Yeah, no. I know, but the power that talk about poverty, you know that? The poverty is greater cause. We the poverty is greater cause. They talk about poverty. When there's an epidemic, we stop at the church. We agree. Please, yeah?
So we're back in the church, and the members are refusing to leave, which have prompted the police to force them out. This is the All Saints Assembly, aka Holiness Church. They are in direct violation .
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Alphonso Zean Soe of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. To want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon, wherever you are. This is what we love doing, to keep the discussion going. And I'm broadcasting as usual from the New England Bureau in the special LPR Open Mic. There are a lot of information happening out there, and we are on an obligation to keep you informed, to keep the disco going. Let me first of all say a happy birthday to my own sister in Norway, Sis Seo. We say Mother Seo, we say happy birthday to you, and even to your beloved husband. He is our family member. He's our uncle. I'm talking about Mr. Boa. Very decent man, not of his support to this network, but the history of his family. For those of the Liberians, regardless you are from the ethnic tribe, but those that went through Sierra Leone, we were in Sierra Leone during the civil crisis. These family doors were opened as long you are a living being on the earth, on this planet Earth. That was the amazing thing. They were always helping people who they know, who they do not know, but as long as he was Liberian, because as a matter of fact, Mr. Boat from Liberia, he was one of the luckier one. His company transitioned to Africa during the Sierra Leone during the civil crisis, so he was living a very decent life, that I can say. And they were able to help people. Even up to this point in time, they're still helping people. That's what we must acknowledge. And I saw this morning that amazing Facebook posting celebrating her birthday. Oh my goodness. I have to say, and from all indications, they are still moving in that direction. That's how we should behave like a people, and that's how we should treat people with humanity, regardless of who they are and what they believe in. But I know I'm going to sound very ridiculous here this afternoon here, because for us in this network, we have to say it as it is. And we do not play into the political drum of people what they want to hear, to what they are anticipating of hearing. That's not what this news outlet, especially Liberia Popular Radio, I want to be vehemently clear that we do here. However, we do not sanction views and opinions, but whatever is expressed on this network, it is of your own view. Management does not have any authority over it. But we as a institutions, we have the obligation to tell you what you need to know. Does that mean all that we are saying is 100% correct? It could not be, but we make sure we verify information, authenticate at least 2 or 3 forces. That's what the profession requires. And so the soundbite of opposition supporters, pro-government supporters, this is not something that we buy into. And we hope to continue in our pace. I don't care how people will interpret it to be. We have to say it as it is. And so it's a compelling situation here. It's based on the video that I saw emerging from Liberia, and people that we talk to who still find it very difficult to believe that indeed there's something called, just before even coming on air. I was talking to people in my village. There was, in fact, a call came in, and I decided to return the call. Neighboring my own town is less than 45 or 50 kilometers from one of the major cities in the Ivory Coast, Tuloplay. I'm now hearing there's a confirmed case in Tuloplay, and this individual is a female, is being taken to Abidjan. They have done the test and it is positive. But yet our people are still in defiance that there is no virus in the country. Some are still seeing it as a ploy by government to get money. I don't get it. And we have all reason to believe that indeed this message is not resonating. The government, and I want to be crystal clear here, they have their own fault in terms of disseminations and as to how effectively they could channel this sort of commitment. But leadership itself is all from in our own community to the national level. This is not about CDC, this is not about ALP, this is not about Unity Party. This is a national crisis, and it must be treated as national crisis for all of us as citizens. It was so ridiculous. This is not George Weah business. And I know some people are going to be flipping up here, but who cares? We have to say it as it is. I'm going to question some of these churches that still defies government authority, government mandate, and they still continue to conduct these services to endanger the lives of other people. It is saddening. If you watch some video from Asia and other places, how government have been executing an aggressive move. So I'm wondering here, are they not watching what is unfolding on the international scene, how the entire globe is coming to a halt because of this deadly virus? Yes, I do not agree with the administration of George Weah. We have come aggressively, and we just do not only talk. When we talk, we also make recommendations as to how we feel and how government should execute the program. But yes, it was announced by government that things must be seized. Yet still, people are still being very defiant. So it brings me to the question to questions their religions and their commitment to even serving God, because there is ordinance in the house of God. And we're going to bring some scripture here. There is a rule in the Bible says that calls for quarantine as well. So why these churches, people, the religious community, what is their own contributions in terms of helping the Liberian? From what we're getting here from our own news outlet, Liberia Public Radio, here news here, the process now, Liberia covered 19 cases claimed to 14. And people still believing that it's a make-up, it's a political, or it's a ploy by the George Weah-led government. And that's the danger of it. If you always used to taking things that does not belong to you, and you're a child in the house of 3-4, and you are always accused of something, then it makes it very difficult, because the day you did not even take anything, they assume that you take it. And that's the sort of that's what is happening. But I think it was wrong on the part of these religious leaders. And so I'm questioning the sort of scripture, how they go about to preach the scripture to the people, because they are leaders. I'm wondering whether the Christian community or the Muslim community, following the decision by the Weah-led government or the CDC or the government of the Republic of Liberia, as precautionary measures to contain or to mitigate the spread of this virus, right? What did they do? Or they are just only looking at on Sunday they will not be able to collect their offerings and tithe? Is that what they are looking for? That is ridiculous on their part. There is no leadership. So I have come to realize everybody is messing up, everybody is screwing up big time. Why? It is true. Bulk of it is on the government. The government is unable to aggressively get this sort of public awareness. Or even they are doing this, some people are just paying deaf ear. That's who we are as Liberians. So I thought by this time both institutions, religious institutions, or the religious group, faith, the Muslims, the Christians, the Buddhists, or whatever, I thought by this time they would have come together and even ask government for to see whether they can also be part of this process. I haven't heard any fast and prayer. They having their Bibles, and then when they finish with all of the prayer warriors and prayer Goliaths and prayer Davids, the wickedness in the church and even in all of this in our entire society is just unbelievable. So why people continue to do this to endanger other people's lives? Let's see here. And because I had this discussion with a few people, and they were able to make some real concrete contribution here as well, and I decided to verify it. The Bible, if you go to the book of Isaiah 26 verses 20, this is why it said, that's not my makeup, it is scriptural. This is why it say, "Come, my people entered your chambers." They are referring to the house of God. "And shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself for a little while until the wrath is past." Hide yourself a little while until the wrath is past. What is the wrath in this case here? It is the coronavirus. Shut your door. But when you have hundreds of and the social distancing, in as much the government is not fully implementing, but all of us must help. Are they not aware of what is happening on the international scene? And we have the Queens and all of those people. The UK Prime Minister now is taken into ICU. Are they still not aware? I thought by this time this is where all of the clergymen, the reverend, the bishops, and whoever they are, to come together as one people, and maybe only those here and ask government permission, or want to know how many persons can assemble based on whatever and following the rules of the social distancing, and have a fast and pray and seek the face and righteousness of God to pray for our country. But instead, everybody doing their own thing. Then when police go in, people are mad. That's the same nonsense that how it started with the Ebola, to the extent that when you talk, some people that said that Helen Johnson Sirleaf were using formaldehyde, they were putting it in well. It's all because of ignorance and illiteracy is what killing our people, and the government inability to also execute aggressive information sharing. This is where Mr. Eugene Fagon, who is the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, to effectively market himself of government programs. Yes, everything about government is not 100%. They have been falling short in terms of how this whole Ebola thing is being executed. No questions about that. But we as a citizen, we do have responsibility as well. Are you not aware there are other countries now that in my own state, neighboring state, Massachusetts, what I've already working, while I was just on air receiving text message and all of that, the city mayor of Boston has imposed a curfew starting at 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. unless you are an essential worker. Other than that, you're going to face the full weight of the law. Yes, that's it. So why are they behaving the way they are behaving? Let's go here, because I don't want to be abstract. I want to be concrete and point out some specific here where they are falling short as people of God who are supposed to be playing their part. Listen to this one, Philippians 2:3. Do nothing from rivalry to conceive, but in humility come ordered more significant than to yourself. Yes, they do not want to come us. They leave from there, and you think, do you think is if the coronavirus is the major cause, or the bottom line of it is respiratory issue? How many ventilators do we have in the country there? People are dying because of little oxygen thing is lacking. So when it becomes really deadly in the country, tell me, can you go to JFK and get a ventilator? When you can't breathe, can you survive on that? So even if government say, we all has frowns on this government inability to do what it should be doing, okay, let's table that here a little bit. But when it's a crisis, we must come together as a people. I'm going to the scripture. I'm trying to remind them, because it seems to me they are not even reading the Bible, or they're reading it, the interpretation aspect or the true meaning. They seems not to get it. Let's see this other one. Hebrews 13:17. Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls, as those who will have to give an account. Let them do this with joy and not with groaning, for that will be of no advantage to you. Who do we consider as a national leader? It's the government. And that's why they have a separation of state and church. The government is over all. And they should see themselves as also leaders who will help to enhance regardless of their own political association. And part of that, because the system, be a church or whatever institutions, they are so polarized now with this political gaming here. That's the problem. Maybe I'm a LP man, and bulk of my members are not in support of the government, so that we will be defiant of government authority, that will be defiant of government's actions, and so at the end of the day, the kitchen sink will dash on them. Okay, myself, I'm a government official. I would disrespect the opposition. I will not call them around the table for us to have conversation. Like in the case of Ivory Coast right now, yesterday during the weekend, military were in the streets of Cote d'Ivoire. They call on the opposition to sit. So I'm wondering whether the opposition of Liberia and the government of Liberia has unveiled themselves in true sense in the interest of national humanity to take on this national crisis. Or everybody just manufacturing information for political gains at the expense of Liberians to endanger people's life. This is wrong. It is unacceptable. We'll have to speak to that. The people that are supporting the government, What is their message when it comes to this coronavirus? Are they opening up to welcome other people to make them to feel comfortable? To sit down and find solutions, or look out there to see where they can get help? Yes, a team of 18 experts and doctors are expected to arrive in Nigeria from China. They are expected to arrive in Nigeria in the fight against the coronavirus. Where is the joint statement from the opposition bloc, the government, to sit around the table and to have this sort of conversation? Where is the darlings of the opposition, Darius Dillon, and also the darlings of the ruling party, Akara's Great, Oscar Cooper, and all of those people to sit under the roof? Yet they was talking about because the virus is intern and they want to go for a break. You're not going for no break. We dare you. We pay you. Taxpayer, we pay you. You are making thousands of dollars. You made them for numerous years, months, and then crisis come because you are stockpile fools, and maybe you'll be able to get medications. You'll be able to be treated extraordinarily than ordinary Liberians. You want to go for a break. No, you are not going for a break. Those in America here, despite of this, what is ongoing, they are not on break. They are talking how to come up with a stimulus package to sustain ordinary Americans and people that have given and invested into government revenue and have brought significant dividends to government. So when will we even see this group called opposition and the government of Liberia to sit down and have this sort of conversation? And then the church, which is a spiritual institution, the Muslims and all of that with their faith. What is the comprehensive package? What are they saying to the national government? Who is proposing what and who is not listening? We need to know. Lack of leadership, lack of vision, greed, selfish aim, people making political statements with the hope of thinking that they're going to just pass through. I have serious comprehension. Today is the 6th as to whether there will be senatorial election. Considering what is unfolding now, we need to forecast and look ahead of us. And because we do not have a short-term and long-term goal in our planning, in executing, this is why we are always caught in the middle. When will these people sit down to talk? And people still believe that the virus is not there. How many awareness is reaching out in Greenville, in River G, in Maryland, in Sino, in Riverside, in Bopolo? Yes, yet every day 555 teleconferences will be held in a day in Monrovia, and people are going to be posting themselves before cell phones, iPads, and camera. I profess that they are doing what they're supposed to do. So where becomes of the majorities of those who are outside of the capital of Monrovia will leave it then vulnerable and say you are for yourself, fight your own battle, all is for all, because national government activities is not decentralized. How many oppositions or how many advocacy groups are now taking the streets and corners and outside of Monrovia to create an awareness and say, hey, let's put aside politics in a little bit. Hey, let's do away with CDC sedition, tiny sedition, fat sedition, slim sedition. Hey, let's do away with Unity Party. Let's do away with ALP. Let's do away with this blinging. But this is what is happening. You are not saying it because we understand, we know you do not have electricity. Your internet services are not too tight. But we are from in the city. We watch CNN. We watch all of the cable news wired all across the globe. This is a national cause. Whether we like George Weah or not, whether we want Boycott to be, whether we want Ellis Coleman to be, even those, all of them, they are not even friendly. They do not like one another. They profess and pretend to like it because they are all looking for state power. Let's undo that a little bit and for us to look at what is ahead. What shall it profit you when Liberia, when half of, where is the population? When all is gone, do you think you still want to be president? Do you still you want to be a senator for an empty village or city? Nobody's having that conversation. If you listen to people that support the government, they make up stories. they fabricate innuendos, soundbite, rare meat they throw out there for political favor. If you're looking for, you return to the people that are supporting the opposition, it's all. Nobody is willing to put forward a tangible or something concrete, not abstract. I don't want to hear if I tell government will not do it. Your job is to say it. And if they can't do it, it goes on the record. Yes, it good right now. Everybody, they are entangled in the city. They can't travel. Shouldn't it be a concern? I will listen to the Minister of Health this morning in the press briefing, and there are so many things that I disagree with as well. Because it seems to me the rule is being some assumptions, other people being given leverage. Yes, if you want to quarantine people who are expected or who are suspected or who are potential risk of this, so it doesn't matter who is a government minister, managing director, agency of director, whether you are LPRC manager, we don't care. By virtue of your positions, the probability of endangering other people if you are infected is 100% likely. So why they can be quarantined? Why other people came from out of the country the other day, that should have been observed for the 14 or 21 days, whatever regulations you put in place, while others were exempted from it. The inconsistency and incoherent message on the part of national government. I believe it is time. This was something a couple of months ago. The Minister of Foreign Affairs or the executive mansions issued a press release where they said their communication were going to be coherent, it's going to be concise, and it's going to be regulated. But yet then still, that is not still happening. I heard the Minister of Health saying, oh, we do not have the authority to do this. If you do not have the authority, who have the authority is not with the President of the Republic of Liberia. That's why you were appointed. It's because most of you do not know your job description, your functions, and you just want to be a servant. This is why get into this mess. You have the expertise. It is your area. You can make recommendation to the President. Because of XYZ reason, because of the critical health reason that we have seen, because of what we are monitoring from WHO, UNICEF, and other agencies of government and non-government making those recommendations, Mr. President, we need to have a lockdown. We need to do XYZ, but yet you're waiting for Patrick Sudu, who is a policeman. His job is to execute, and there must be a specific mandate. I don't get it. Governing is a difficult task, and you must be prepared for it. The very first thing I thought, a big emergency meeting to have been convened. It doesn't matter which party you for, which party you support. That was my first thought. I waited, I didn't see anything. Where a comprehensive strategy will come into place. Nobody should be selling or slippers or shoes to wear at this time, or bra or whatever. It is insignificant. It is immaterial to what we are talking about right now. If they are going into these districts, various districts, how many districts? Was 17 or whatever districts in Moserado? Well, Moserado was the very first thing to hit. This is why when you elect people lack of visions and they are not far-sighted, that's what happened. Although 18 or 17 representatives, because here is the thing, the senator do not represent you and myself. They don't. If you don't know your constitution, the senators, they are the direct representative of the county. But you have the representative who represent your interest in terms of putting legislation or putting something into action. So they are the very first people who want to hold. They are our direct representative. I was waiting to see the 18 or 17, no matter which party, independent or whatever party, the 550 some more parties in the country, I thought they would have come together in the bipartisan way and figure out how can we execute effective chain of communication and maybe make a representation to government. Yeah, you are representative for district number 8, district number 10, number 9, number 10, 11, 12. My guess, you must have a rapport with those people. But then when I gave a second thought again, I said, oh yeah, how can they do it? Because some of these people do not even have local offices. They do not go back to their constituencies to even have a town hall meeting to see some of the burning issues affecting their constituencies. So how can they go there now? So now there's a great lie. They have a tight tone. They can't do it. But if they were nationalist, if they believe in the liberalization policy and they believe in the interests of the citizens and its people, these people will find time and put aside politics a little bit and sit and say, okay, this is what is going on. We need to sit down and come up with a plan to submit to government. Lane Eugene Nangwe does not know everybody that lives Ghana Bay. Eugene Fagon sit down, I like little Chihuahua. He does not know people that live Robert Fee. But you do have a representative. Hopefully he or she get a place and can meet. Then they in turn help to expedite the communication aspect and find local people. But that's what you have. That's what you get. If you have leaders who are not in touch with their constituents, then they are confused. Then they all jump into a blame game. When they are opposition, the whole government responsible. If they are government, then the whole opposition responsible of not doing anything. That's the problem that we have. And I cited a scripture here. In the church, that also should help because their leader, the friend was telling me, because what they are doing now, they are creating mobile money, so people will they will send their offerings in tithes. So more or less, this is what the church, the institution, that's what they are worrying for. That's what they are worrying about now. How will their tithe be paid? But they have the guts to defy government authority. Do not go to church because of health reason. When last government gave that mandate in Liberia? Well, if it happened, then on the circumstances of whatever the case. But can they see or hear what is happening globally? So even if I do not like George, we are in this one. Yes, I believe there were some flaws into the process. I do not believe people's security apparatus getting overnight, going and destroying, breaking down tables. That was not the solution. But again, if our leaders were smart and far-sighted to jump ahead of the game and begin to strategize and begin to, when Akara Gray was talking to Darrell Dillon, and Darrell Dillon is willing to pay them attention, and Oscar Cooper was talking to maybe Nyombli Kanga Lawrence, and nobody calling people bad names, all sort of living people as tiny, as big, as small, and say, wait a minute, what can we do in the process, in dissemination process, to help government to combat it? After the whole corona, everything, we can start doing our politics. Nobody get a guts to do that. And the government told you, do not go there. But again, you know, when you tell people do not do something, you must set an example. But when you violate your own laws, or when you create an exception to a rule that you expect or you anticipate to be enforced, and the ordinary Liberian out there sees it, wait a minute, he's telling me not to go to this place, but you see him going there. So then the question mark comes, oh, you're telling me not to go there, but you going there. I will go there, let me see what happened. Then what happens right there is referred to as power struggle. Mr. A, when nothing go there, I will go. Let me see who get the authority. That's why it's happening. And it is a sad situation. It should not. We should avoid it. The government must play her part. But the disrespect on the part of our religious institution, yes, the imam and the clergyman, the imam is supposed to be doing on their work. Okay, maybe because of the social distancing, 1/10 or 5 based on the regulation government going to put in place. We in Ghana or this place will assemble to pray, to intercede on behalf of the country. Okay, we in the Christian community, we selecting maybe as a Winker church or whatever church that get a big edifice where there will be, we will be going for intercessory prayer for God divine intervention. How many of them have proposed that and government said no? Or all our political leaders? How many churches they have met in their own constituencies to create this sort of public awareness, or to even take time? We understand we all want to go to church, but for now, this is what we're supposed to do. It did not happen. Security forces too, people want to show authority. Overnight, they went and raid people's table. It's because of the disconnect. If the city corporation, they have a key part to play, but if that relationship was cordial or there, because they go to these market people and collect taxes, just how to go to collect taxes, they would have gone there to create an education. Maybe the mayor or whoever has oversight of the market call their leaders at the city corporation. We need to have a meeting. We need to have a game plan ahead of this problem. We do not want to wait until it is unleashed. This market in Jungmantown or Raleigh market, how many members? Because they don't even have record. That's probably that could be. I don't want to be judgmental here, but one could make an educated guess. How many members? 500 members. Do you know all of the things that you are selling there? Yes. At this time, we understand. The only thing we want to prioritize is food. So people who selling those bleach cream, nobody wants to bleach under this sort of condition. If you're sewing a propose suit, it's not necessary to sell at this time. Those one OUT out. You have to be forceful and you have to get mandate and you have to execute it. Because when you draw a line of demarcation as to how you're going to do and get everybody involved, if not everybody, but at least significant people who are stakeholders, who are also part of the process, that you cannot just leave them out. If you get them involved, you potentially ahead of the game and your plan will work out. Okay, maybe we'll have 12 people selling rice and 100 people selling XYZ. We need to have a roster, and we're going to have a rotational time based on how the situation is going to be and how things are going to happen. If you go to sell today, the next day the other group going to be going. The next time the other one going to be going, so that everybody will have it. Because why? People will also want to get food to eat. But when you go and shut off everything, it makes it difficult. People will get hungry. And when they get hungry, they get angry. And when they get angry, they're going to bust. And that bust will to explode. And that's the problem. But to see our religious institution, churches, to defy government authority, it is very, very much difficult. This is what the other scripture says. Romans 13, 1-14. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities. I'm not talking anything abstract. This is not my creation. It's scripture. Go there and you're going to see it. So are they reading the scripture, or they just only talking? They are performing surgical operation within the scripture where they only want members to pay tithes and offering, but they are not talking about the aspect where that church or members or people also need to respect their leaders regardless of whether you like or dislike. Listen to this. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God. Well, God, the representation of God, is your national leaders. Whether he's corrupt, whether 10,000 went missing, whether 60,000 went missing. But at this time, under the circumstances and situation that is happening, we see them as a leader. So if they say something, if we do not agree with it, there's a way we can seek redress. And it goes forward. And those that exit and have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists what God has appointed. Yes. No wisdom to get that other part in the scripture. I wonder somebody can help me with the scripture that says, pay your tithe and you will get abundantly blessed. So that's the only favorite quote that we remember. But they failed to go to Romans 13:1-14. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists what God has appointed. And those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Will you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, or you will receive his approval from him, God. These are all scriptures that we are seeing. The responsibility of God. What they should do. You go to Philippians 2:3, Ephesians 6:1. All of that, they are there. And this one here. Admonish you and be extended and varied highly in love because their work. Be at peace among yourselves, and we urge you, brothers, admonish the idle, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with them all. Apparently, we are not patient with anything. We are not willing to help the weak, because the society or the country is so polarized, is so divided bitterly on politics lines, something that has not helped us in the past, and there's no indication that it's going to help us in the future. Yes, politicians, hypocrisy at the highest level. People are playing deceit and gambling the lives of the Liberian people under the disguise of being either a good opposition or being a strong supporter of the government, or whatever reason turns they may have. But even by saying that video, and the government is telling people not to go to church in observance maybe of the social distancing right now, they still don't believe it. Yes, latest news from Nigeria, courtesy of Africa News. Nigeria to set a 1.39 billion fund to fight COVID-19. When will the government of Liberia, the quote-unquote the opposition, will think about coming together to find alternative means in the absence the international community cannot come in? Who is willing to channel that cause? Who is willing to have that discussion? Zero. From Spoon FM to Fog FM, from Fog FM to Plate FM, from Plate FM to Bow FM, everybody trying to make way to seek public attentions and to be in the eyes of the media to validate their argument, because they are so desperately worried about 2023 senatorial elections so that they will be re-elected. They will be seen as a giant, they will see as a political gladiator because they were advocating, because they were saying. But some of us are not stupid. We're not going to buy into that. If you're a government, incumbent senator or opposition, and you think you're going to politics or gamble the lives of our people, we are closely monitoring in Washington, taking the record of everything that happened. When the time comes, and that's where we're going to come and put those records out. But before we put it out, we must sign you on an alarm. We must tell you beforehand, this is what you are doing is not right. Your acceleration now is you are going above the speed limit. You need to calm down. We need to tell them it. We need to tell them it. Now, cover is now reported in neighboring Tuloplay. That is, I can say, is in Grand Jide. Every Monday, thousands and hundreds of people leave from Grand Jide within the Grand Jide Basin district belt and its surrounding. They go to Tuloplay market. People coming from Zueru, other places. Perhaps people coming from Sino. I wouldn't be surprised. Maryland to River G to go buy goods, because Ivory Coast, they got a good road, so once you cross there you can get anything. So if covered is reported, and this person he has been confirmed, a lady who came from I believe Dalawat, my source was telling me just before I came on air. So who can now figure out how many persons this individual interacted with, maybe from the Liberia side or even from the Cote d'Ivoire side, and this person from the Cote d'Ivoire side, Liberian people, people who have gone there, marketeers, vendors, interacted with that person, and they're going to be coming back to Liberia. So who knows? You see how things can spread? The restriction here, I don't know about your state. But I went to my own financial institution today. I could not even enter. The lady asked me, where you coming from? I said, I'm from China. She slammed the door right away. Because no one wants to be infected. I'm just kidding, but that's the situation. We have to accustom ourselves to prevailing situation. Are they not aware what is happening? Are they not aware? I like to be illustrative. That's part of our job in this business here. And for those of you here, I want to give you a glance. I don't know about your state. I can only make an argument of my own state. But this is how the road was like this morning, that I know the 95 that I know is a basic one coming from Massachusetts to Rhode Island, my own home state. The traffic, it can be crazy. But I want you to watch, because I want to be illustrative. I want you to see and others to see how serious it is. How the road was looking this morning driving. Okay, there you have it. Who wants to get yourself back all that way? But such is the situation, such is the time. Very high and stubborn, but it comes a time that you have to change course. For that, our own Pa George, he volunteered. He spoke the Bele language just to get to our people. Cry Conquer. We went to the Riverses. We went to Nimba County and other places to get the message going. All right, I'm seeing here. Let me get here. Folks, just give me quick message here. I'm trying to get a message here coming from inside Liberia. Let's see here. Let me just get back to our guy here, and hopefully we can get him as well. To bring our man, I'm getting the information here, Mr. Magdan. So if it's possible to see whether we can bring in on as well, if we can get any information in that regard from Liberia on the latest, every now and then things kind of like changing here and there, and it's important that we get all of that. So Mike, if you are listening, yes, I'm quite sure you're still there, but in the meantime, I have the number there. I have the number that you can call to see to give your contribution. But I think all of us, this is not a party line business. We need to do what is right. We should stop to endanger the lives of our people. Yeah, churches here closed. You either have the pastor or maybe 2 or 3, 4 persons, heads of the church, that go there and their people go on Facebook, to worship. You don't have to go in the house of God, Or if they don't have that, how many of them maybe went to Lone Star or Cellcom to say, hey, this is the situation now. Can you, or the members, why they can't even contribute? Money in Liberia, they have no money. And say, okay, we want to do our live streaming. Everybody to do live streaming now from inside Liberia. So it's not a hidden fight. And then they tell their members they should be creative. If they never had a Facebook account or page before as an institution, as a group, well, they can create that because they have thousands, hundreds of their members who are all on Facebook. But they can't gamble the lives of our people under the disguise of being the Christians or Muslim. Yeah, maybe from the Muslim side I've seen it happen, but I haven't seen anything for that matter that surface. Don't get me wrong, it's not a definitive position. So why the Christians, why are they doing it? Because what the name of the church says, holiness something. You're holy and you want to disobey authority? Can you disobey your pastor? And people went there and they were speaking in tongues and stuff like that. Let me see here. Let me bring in Pa Joyce here. Is our contributor. Hello, Pa Joyce? Hello? Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me get the connection. That's my fault. Hello, Pa Joyce, are you there? Hello? Mr. George, are you there? Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. That was my fault. Okay, yeah, good afternoon.
How you doing, sir?
All right, thank you so much. Look, Pa George, we know this administration, this government, or whatever it is, everybody get a good and bad side of their story. And that's what I was using the illustration. When you get a child who can see that the day that child, he even put hand on it and say you took it, because it is widely known that you always taking the cookies from the cookies jar. But I don't understand, first and foremost, why the religious people, why our lawmakers, and these people have not had the courage to create this sort of awareness, but to be so defiant like that. Why are they endangering the lives of our people? I'm just a little concerned.
We say thank you to the Liberian Public Radio. I service provided to the community, the management went out of the way when the thing started to launch a program in various dollars just to reach to the people. But from day one, I have frowned on these religious community. I understand from then, at one point in time, they were called by the government to discuss. They did not reach a conclusion, and the politics took over when the bishop versus the deputy minister going after one another. But here's the thing. I would say, if you don't even believe the government, what about what you see on the international news? And majority of people now got access to phone to see all these things. As right now speaking, the British Prime Minister now has been taken to intensive care unit in Britain. So why endanger other people's lives? And I said it to the, I was trying to write and say, the church, the pastors and the pastors and other leaders in the church are taking advantage of the Liberian people. The people who go to this church, they are taking advantage of them. Because you are the leader. These people listen to you people. And knowing you know better than most of them. I don't want to denigrate anybody, but I think you leading them, you should be able to direct them.
Pa George, hold on 1 second. Let me put you guys on hold. Let me connect with our man Mike down from inside Liberia, and I'm gonna bring you. Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Good evening. How are you today?
Well, I'm great, Mr. Soe, and good evening to all of our listeners who are listening to LPR TV this and watching LPR TV this hour.
Okay, thank you for coming. We are always concerned, and we say thank you to all of you guys for the extraordinary job that you are doing. And so when we get a phone call coming from inside Liberia, it makes people cholesterol and blood pressure to go over the roof. What is the latest that we need to know?
Well, Liberia, as we speak, is good, is quiet. What we have to know is that indeed coronavirus cases in Liberia continue to rise. As we speak today, there was a new cover or announced by the Ministry of Health. And so our case portfolio has gone to 14 cases we have currently, with 3 deaths so far. And so out of the 14, actively the one people may consider to be a coronavirus case, active cases, they are about 8. And 3 persons have already recovered. So this is how things stand currently in Liberia when it comes to COVID-19.
So are the people believing, trusting their government? Who do they think that is filling the system for which, in my own word, I could be wrong, that the public awareness, is it that effective? Is it strong? The government doing her part? Everybody doing their part? We saw people still going to church in defiance of government mandate.
Well, there are still some doubt from people that COVID-19 government is just want to make some money out of it. When you pass to some few corners in Monrovia and other parts of the country, you usually hear sort of bit information coming from the public saying that the way in which the cases are being increasing, it seems that government wants to make money out of it. But indeed, the awareness that people continue to create is one way or the other helping. So this is what people continue to do. So
why are people saying that maybe government wants to make money? Is it because is it a mere politics, or people just lose confidence in the very government that they themselves as elected? So where is this disconnect coming from?
Well, I think what is happening is that the issue of disbelief, when the Ebola virus struck Liberia some years back, similar disbelief or denial happen. But until people get to realize to know it was too late when people were dying in their dozens, in their hundreds. So uh, this is what happened in 2014. But again, awareness continue. People continue to create awareness that this virus exists. People should not overlook it and continual awareness. This is what will make people to believe that yes, indeed. Because, for example, the three deaths that have occurred, they did not occur from the treatment center, but rather outside the treatment center. They were not people who were uh, taking treatment, COVID-19 treatment. There were deaths that occur outside, but then the health authorities said they did a test, and then they were confirmed as having a COVID-19. So again, the disbelief continued there.
So, are they believing the folks at the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare? And I know one of our, what can you say? Because one of the family that they reported death out of the three, I believe one was disputed by family. Then they were saying that it was not COVID-19. The death of that person was not COVID-19. How government is exonerating herself from that? Okay, we having some connectivity issue. Hopefully he will get reconnected. That's some of the problem that is in Liberia. Internet everywhere and fully connected, but we still have that. We still have that problem. That Lady Tawokit, thank you for joining us here. Okay, I think I lose control with Mike. Let me go to Mr. George and Christopher Tawati Tobasi. And Mr. George. Mr. George, are you there?
You hear me?
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure whether you are hearing the guy because you were calling from a different device, but there seems to be apprehension overall here. If you look at it, people don't believe trust their own very government that was overwhelmingly, like the Liberal Progressive always says, 61 point some more percent, which of course is accurate. So where is the disconnect is coming from here now that people still don't believe? So now the question, it comes back to my argument, our lawmakers who are our direct representative, right? We elected them, they are our voices, not as the senator. The senators, they do not represent us. It is the representatives represent us. They're having smartphones. They're having everything. Do you think they're going back to their various constituencies to tell the people, okay, even though I'm from Liberty Party, I'm from ALP, I'm from Collaborative or whatever party it is, do you think they are getting the message to their people that this is real and this is how we need to do or what we need to do to fight this? Or it's just mere politics and people's lives are involved?
No, they are not. And this is where the disconnect comes between the government and the people. You see, so everything we do in every country, every situation you find yourself in, every organization, the leadership has a crucial role to play. When the coronavirus started, how it started, with misconception, misbelief. This government official, they name him. They don't know it. They say he don't have it. There's no cohesive message that people put together to direct at the people. So as we speak, you find it difficult to relate to the people because what you're saying, some officials come and say, oh, don't the government is seeing something different. Now look what is happening. I listened to the Minister of Health. I think said one of the person died in a home. One they brought to the hospital, I think has difficulty breathing. Okay. Now, when you're seeing that, what are the symptoms that you diagnose to give that report that someone died home, they died from the virus? The hot thought was the people kept the person there too long. The other person came to the place, could not breathe. Is it from coronavirus? The person had an attack or they had respiratory. We don't know. These are the things when you see, then the real truth get missing. Because then people will start to question the credibility. And you know that government all over the world all having problems with messaging. So if you want to set a policy, make the policy that it go across for everybody. But when you have somebody come, they say, oh, this person attached to the government, they did not go through the process. Then another person can say, oh, this person, they will have to go through the process. Then now you create a confusion right away, right there. Now, but in all, what we need to do, what the people, everybody need to be their own security, because this thing is all over. Any news, international news in Toronto is there. So you need now to take the precaution, because the Western country, like you and myself in this country, they don't even have enough ventilators, masks. They don't even have enough. The testing, you know how it is. 4 or 5 days where the result can come back. So then what do you think about Liberia? So people who there should put themselves in the shoe. You know what happened? Look, what I'm saying, I'm going to take the necessary precaution. But again, it comes back. Look at the churches. Okay, I know some of the religious community will actually the government did not inform or officially what have you. Okay, for the sake of the government did not inform you officially. Let me give that to them. But look what is happening that you're reading and you're seeing.
What is it official? When they say official, what? To send a written letter? Don't go to church? Don't do this?
You know the people believe in bureaucracy. You might invite the person, but I'm saying, okay, I will give that to them. But I say, what's about yourself? You're seeing this thing on the international wire. Why would you want to encourage your congregation to come to church? Why do you want to do that when you don't have any means of testing? You don't have any means of testing anybody. So why can't you come and say, okay, you know what happened? All the members, just stay at home. We could do a Facebook broadcast. If you have a Facebook, you can watch it. And then stay away from the grouping, because right now we don't know who have the virus and we don't know who don't have it, because we are not equipped to know who is who. And people have come in the community every year. This person comes in the community, you don't know how many person they have got in contact with. So the best thing is to do is to tell these churches, and I found on, I said, look, if I have someone in authority, those bishops will be charged, because you're putting other people's life at risk. You know the danger, and you're telling people to come to church in the name of serving God. Why think God gave you 5 senses? And you still, because you want to defy authority in the name of God. And I say, for me, when I die, God will judge me when I want. But I will make sure some people are prosecuted.
Okay, so let me bring in Christopher. Christopher.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you for coming in. I know some days it can be a rough edge here, but that's okay here. Nothing wrong with that here. That's part of we sign up all. We do not expect or anticipate everybody to agree with us. Look, but when I saw that the video of Holy Little Saint or whatever was church somewhere at I Duporo area there, and I'm quite sure maybe, who knows, in the long run we're going to see more of that. What does that tell you? What comes to mind? What would be your first reaction when you see that, where this is something that is being globally? Liberia is no exception. All right, the state of emergency in Senegal as we speak, 30 days is being extended, and the government is calling for heavy reinforcement. All right, why I disagree with the policy as to how the government they have communication in terms of not getting to people, breaking down people market tables, but there should be some essential things to be in the market, and those are things they're supposed to enforce. They did not do that. So then our religious leaders too, who's supposed to be far-sighted with people with vision, they were praying. Were they praying for against Corona, or they praying for Liberia, or they were just praying for themselves?
You know, Mr. Sue, I would like to speak on. Actually, I want to talk on three things quickly. I want to talk about the Holocaust threat, the coronavirus, and the role of the church in Liberia. But since you asked me a question, I will start with the coronavirus issue. I think the Christian church in Liberia have failed the people, and I'm extremely disappointed. You know, like the church I grew up in, the one that my forefathers, my father and my uncles and my mother, everybody, I don't think they will behave like this. Because growing up, I never saw them going against government authority. I did not see that. The churches today are different. They have allowed themselves to be swallowed up into politics. You know, I think if I can be fair here, I will say that I want to say thank you to the Muslim community. The Muslim community of Liberia has shown to the people of Liberia how we should respect our leaders, our government. The Christian church, what they are doing, the way the Christians are behaving, it is disappointing, it is frustrating, and I don't think the people around the world will. I mean, for Liberia, a country that was once upon a time called a Christian nation, built on Christian principles. Missionaries from the 50s. For Liberian churches to be the ones threatening to fight, Liberian church leaders, pastors threatening to fight police officers, law enforcement. Even if you don't agree with some of the things that the government or the measures that they have put in place, but you first of all got to listen to the government. You got to follow instructions from the health ministry, and then we can sit down and talk. But for them to be the one to violate rules, regulations, laws, I think it's deeply saddening. And I think that we also call on them, call them out, And like I said, I will always, people have said so many things about the Muslim community, but for what they have shown to us in this difficult period, this time of uncertainty, what the Muslims have done in our country, it should be they have served as role models. They have served that they have shown to us that there's a better way to do things. And I want to say thank you to the Muslim community. I want to say thank you to them, their leaders. I want to say thank you. I hope the Liberian Christian, the Christian church will learn from the Muslim community as we move forward.
So I don't want you making blanket statement. It's not all the churches that did that.
It's not blanket statement. I'm just saying.
But I'm just going to offer that's a blanket statement you're making. It's not all the churches. That's a blanket statement you're making. Let me push that a little bit. No.
When I say the Christian church,
you said the churches. That's a collective statement you made. That's a blanket statement, and I said no.
I know you're being defensive, but I said the Christian Church of Liberia. And
you said the church, but I think he's speaking English.
Okay, let him end his point, and then we'll come to the.
We like to go after each other on things that don't really matter.
No.
Sometimes we're gonna go
Hold
after
Mr. George, I come in. Let him finish his point, and then I will come to it because I gotta.
Where Ed's supposed to belong, and you know that Ed's supposed to go there. It doesn't mean the person not educated. The person may be the list of where THE supposed to go and they put it. It doesn't mean that they're not educated. It's just because of typographical error, typo. So Liberia needs to just start doing these things.
Okay, Christopher, go to your Mr. Slangat, Marita. Good evening and welcome. So go to your point. Okay, then let me just argue on the point what Mr. George was saying. Are you making the reference to the entire Christian community, or you want to be a little bit specific here, just not to get our audience disoriented?
Say that again.
I say, are you making a specific reference to an institution or a church, or you are referring to the entire Christian community of Liberia?
Because they say they call themselves the Council of Churches, so they are one body. So this is not a blanket statement. Because if you come together collectively, now you are one in body.
Yeah, but the action also committed, let's be fair here, the action also committed, you do not have any evidence or proof that even that group, even though it's a council of churches, but I doubt whether all of them, they are under the same roof. So are you saying they are acting, are you saying they are acting on the mandate of the council of churches? Christopher, don't sound so ridiculous here this evening.
No, because if you say if you call yourself council of churches, if you call yourself that you are in one body and you get one leader who is responsible to be your spokesperson to talk with.
No, don't confuse. Don't mix it up. Hold on. Don't mix it. Council of churches
whether Lutheran, whether Catholic, whether Protestant or wherever. I said the Christian Church of Liberia is wrong. I think that the Christian Church of Liberia have violated norms. I'm saying that they have violated the medical community.
No. So, okay, hold on. Okay, I come in. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, Christopher. Yeah. We don't. Yeah, we don't just. Okay.
I'm saying that Christian Church of Liberia.
Okay, then this
Christian Church of Liberia.
So let me just tell you now. If you are one of the official spokesperson of the government of Liberia too, then you would not be doing the government justice because you would be that is a complete rare meat. So will it be a good argument? A person who is a Christian, who is a Catholic, or who is a Baptist, or who is a Methodist, and comes out and say, well, in fact, the church that did that is not an affiliate of Methodist. Will you then take offense to that?
Yeah, Mr. Sue, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm asking you a question. You're talking about Christian, we're talking about Catholics, we're talking about Methodists, we're talking about the AG and different, the Lutheran. So if a Catholic member come out here now too and call, say, yes, even though what happened, I mean, it's not right in our sight. It was not a Catholic church, it's not an affiliate of the Catholic church, but you put them under the umbrella of Christian community. So if they come up with that argument, will you validate that argument?
Mr. Sue, whether the Christian church can want to be on the defensive side of this argument, I'm saying that they put the people at risk. I'm saying that the Liberian people have suffered in the hands of the Christian church. I'm saying that the Christian church has become the lawbreaker.
And that's why
the community.
Okay, let him make a point.
They have violated the police. They have violated everything. All right. The Christian church had no business to be the one to oppose law enforcement, rule of law. The Christian church had no business of being the one. They should be on the side of the government.
So let me ask you this question.
Their own measure in place.
So let me ask you this question.
In America here, the church have been prosecuted by the government.
So Christopher, before you go to your next point here, there are a few things here before I can make way for Samson Toe. So if you were police director and the Minister of Justice authorized an arrest of violators, where do you think you're going to go to? Who do you think you're going to go arrest? You go find a Methodist bishop.
Hold on, give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Let somebody else come and give me 2 minutes.
Okay, let me just disconnect you because then we'll be having a reception. Mr. George.
Yeah.
This is where the miscommunications and the information sharing is coming from, because Christopher, what he's talking is sounding so ridiculous. Why it is true to we frown on the action, but to come and just put everybody in a deplorable basket here and just say Christian. And then my argument, suppose a Methodist or Lutheran person comes out here. Why now we deal with those who are the violators?
And that's the pushback I'm trying to do. Because you didn't see the police go to a Lutheran church. You didn't see the police going to a Methodist church. You didn't see the police going to a Baptist church. When they say the council of church, not every church in Liberia falls under the council of churches. And that's the distinction I wanted to make to him. For him to come here and make a kind of blanket statement and say the Christian church had failed Liberia, where is this million coming from? You know, this is the sentiment that people have because you support the government. So when people go wrong, you don't want to call those people, or you want to put everybody in there. How can you come here to say and say the Christian church has failed Liberians? Where are you coming from? What kind of history you did? What is history of the church you know to gather for Liberia? To come here and make that kind of that kind of statement is not right. And this is why we should do here. We come here to act. We all have sides that we take.
You know, we always.
But that's what I said.
Okay.
That's why I said, look, the bishop told pastor that did that thing. I said, if our police director, I will go after them. I didn't say that I'm going after all the churches because there are people who obey the government order. Those who choose not to obey, you can't put them in the same basket with those who obey because they all belong to one faith. Are you seeing? This is the thing. Last week, a Muslim were on a show telling that the Muslim, people are still going to the mosque. So when you say every Muslim in Liberia has not done a favor to Liberia, this is absolutely ludicrous. It should not be condoned. If you come here, you want to say, it should be very specific and say what you know. But to come here and make that kind of blanket statement that the church, the Christian church, has not done anything for Liberia, are you sure?
Okay, let me bring Christopher here. We do not sanction views here. We can just argue here. So, Christopher.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry because. Yeah,
no, that's okay.
Well,
you are trying to go to Google to make some clarification.
No. I said I was getting calls from bosses. You know, we got bosses. You know, so
okay. Yeah, but Christopher, we have your opinion is your opinion. Your view is your view. But for discussion purposes here, let's get it right here for the benefit of those that are listening. Yeah. So I asked a question.
The point I was making, I said, look, I was born and raised in the Baptist church. Okay, I'm saying that the church that we grew up came to know. I'm saying that the churches at that time, where our fathers and our mothers, the behavior we are seeing today is totally different. The resistance, the disrespect of authority of police officers. I'm saying that the level that we are seeing today, the churches back then did not do that. I'm disappointed in the Christian Church of Liberia. For the council of churches, their leaders,
when you say Christian, when you say Christian church, what are you referencing? Are you referencing the entire Christian community when you say Christian church?
Because they are council of churches under one leader. The leader the leader has not spoken. He has not. The leader has not even. I don't know if I have any video or any radio recording or anything.
So
where I will show him.
Okay. Hold on. So if you don't have it, does that mean it exists? Why you want to be judgmental?
I'm being judgmental because I'm a Christian. I'm a high on the church.
No, but you're being judged. It's a conspiracy theory now. It's a theory that you're putting out there, and we do not accept conspiracy theory here because you don't have it, so it means it does not exist.
Mr. Soe, don't say it's a conspiracy theory. We got evidence. I was shown. We got video recording. We got picture. We got everything. For the Christian church to be the one to be exhibiting the act of rebellion.
Okay, rebellion. Okay, I don't know the definitions. In what context you are talking about rebellion? Hold on 1 second.
What if there was a rebellion?
Yeah, okay. I know I expressed my view, my own opinion, and my own discontent on the path of that church. And I want to be very specific here on the leadership of that church to allow it. We frown on it. But to come here and categorize everything to say the Christian community or to draw a conclusion that these people are part of the council of churches, That's a complete conspiracy. But hold on one second. You will still speak. As I think there's another number here. 443 number 3556. Are you there? Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yes, this is Prince Sharif.
Yeah, Mr. Sherry, how are you?
Well, I am grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, were you listening when we started this program, or have you followed this conversation? Because I just want to give you a sense of where it's going. Are you following from the onset?
No, from the onset. I just get in the middle and try to listen before calling.
Okay, then.
So I would appreciate if you said.
Okay, go ahead.
If you set, the basis of it.
Yeah, sure.
So that I won't go off track.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you say I should set the basis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I came out here and I say, in as much we disagree with this president, but I was poor, and I completely unhappy the manner in which church leaders, and I went as far as bringing some scriptures, even though other people might have a different view. To church, they are defiant of government authority. For them to still be conducting services here, is for me is absurd. It's ridiculous. They are not behaving like a people, and I quote a few scriptures here where they say, for example, Hebrews 13:17, obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your soul, as those who will have to give an account. Let them do this with joy and do not groan, for that will not be advantage. And but this is the more one that something here. Isaiah 26:20. Come, my people, enter your chambers. They are referring to the house of God. And shut your doors behind you. Hide yourself for a little while until the wrath is past. What is the wrath here? Let's put it into the context here. It is the coronavirus. So in itself here is calling on you as a Christian people to quarantine yourself because of all of the prevailing situation. But here we have our churches, government make laws, and they decide to go, even though I am not a favorite of as to how the process were executed, like the breaking down other component, but we want to look at a specific issue here. There are things led to them, they who have done that better. But I also argue that they did not even put themselves together as the Christians or religious community to present something tangible that I'm aware of, to help government to accelerate the information spreading. Instead, they turn to be the violators. And Christopher said, well, and Christopher on a point here in the entire Christian community. So I said, no, we need to hold people who are, I am not sure, I do not have anything to suggest that these people are part of the Council of Churches, and so to hold the entire Council of Churches responsible too, then that just being judgmental. But I just make your point here with this little insight.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for taking your time up. I appreciate it that, you've explained and laid the basis of this particular discussion. And let me just say that I appreciate the effort on your part. I always tell people that we must commend when it is commendable and condemn when it is condemnable. I know sometimes people take it other way, but I think we must appreciate you and many others for the stand that you people, have taken against some members. Again, I want to qualify it. Some members of the body of Christ. Big brother, so when it comes to the issue of religion, there are many people who want to keep mute on it, even when it is positively or negatively discussed. There are people who say they think that God in bidding, I don't want talking. And big brother, so if we do not point out the odds, these challenges in our religious setting, at the end of the day, these same people who are church members, pastors, and etc., are going to be the next government official tomorrow. And because we did not point their odds out when they were in the churches or in the organization, they will have the tendency of going in government and repeating the same old attitude. I am a Christian, let me say it here. I believe in God, and in no way I will disrespect the ordinance or those men who are in the vanguard of protecting or the mediator on earth here between us and God. I will not respect them. But big brother, so I will condemn. Oh yes, I will condemn an act of a frequent disrespect to the law, because you've just read it. The Bible made it very clear that as believers, as Christians, as Muslims, as people who follow God, who serve God, that we must respect and obey the authority. I think the incident on the part of a religious leader or of a religious leader, it is unorthodox, and it must never be given a room in our body politics or even in our religion. I saw what happened also at the LC, where even the council of churches, one of their head, when the people were having their prayer section on the oral feeder, I saw a member of the council of churches on the feed trying to talk to pastors, and they vehemently refused and disrespected him, saying that they were not listening. So I want to agree with you, people, so that some of these things, it is very serious. It is not that it is within, the purview of the council of churches. Sometimes some of these churches, they do their own thing. But I think it is about time that the council of churches be able to meet with all of the religious, especially religious institutions in Liberia, and talk to them. Because they think that people playing fun with, yaka. We in America, we're feeding the weight. When people start falling down, it will be too late. Because remember, we as Liberians must have, we must have a clear picture of how Ebola treated us. Until now, we are still recovering from Ebola effect. As I talk to you in Liberia, we have not fully recovered from the effect of Ebola. We are still faced with that particular effect. We are still feeling the pinch. For Liberians to behave as if they don't know what happened during Ebola time, then they stay jumping around and trying to disrespect authority. Look, I know what is going on, people also. I know people will not like this when I say, they will not like it. They will still tell you that people are also calling off. But people want to dance so they can say, President, we are KO. We will know them. We know them. These people then, they want dance so at the end of the day, they can say, and I hear that, President, we are doing a time, he killed people. Because we know that some of them, their leaders, who were there before, their leader then shed blood. They didn't get time for human being blood. They can kill anybody at any time. They didn't want to know. So now, at President, we are candid. They will not know how to kill flour or chicken. They want down before they cry for death. They're going around the begging people. Hey, we want down. We want down, President. We are let us down.
So who?
My brother, I'm not speaking for you. Please give me a chance. I have the opportunity, please.
Yeah, I come in. Hold on one second. Let's do it. We always have a civil discussion here, but at the same time, comments. Prince, when you come on LPR, be a government official, ordinary person, we must hold people responsible of their comments, of their utterance, and what have you. When you say the people, who are you referring to?
I am talking about these few people in Liberia who up to now are still resisting.
What is the identity of the people you are referring to? Few people. It's too generalized.
But so you just mean some of the people who will jump and go in church, and government said they think y'all shouldn't be too close. Or they said no, we not agree. We're being the church here.
Is that are you making reference to people that are in disagreement with the president policies, for example, the opposition? Is that where you going?
For people also, let me ask you, what will you be that government, that president, we have policy here? They think that the whole world is on.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just trying to dwell on your accusations or what you think the people are doing.
But people also, it's clear. It's clear that what they're trying to do. Because the thing is, let's look at the protocol. So let's
assume that the revelations you are providing, these people saying not to be Christian, but they are under the disguise of being Christian, but they are opposition. Is that your guessing game? Is that
so I am an ordained man of God. Let me tell you on the platform today. If you want my certificate, I will send it. Look, being a church goer doesn't mean that you are a Christian. It doesn't mean that you are a Christian.
Right.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. I have seen people who operate under the banner of journalists. They hold mark in their hand. But at the end of the day, they do something different. Doesn't mean that they are journalists. No, they are not journalists. I know some people now, I can need 20 of them to you on the platform here. They can hold mouth, they be passing around, they say the journalists, but they are not journalists. These are people who are using the profession. No, I'm coming there, I'm coming there. I just want to give you an example. So there are some people who say that they are Christian, but you cannot be the Lord say you are not a pastor, I want to believe. But look at this scripture that you finish reading. What kind of interpretation again a Prince Sheriff or anybody need to be able to understand the thing when you finish talking that day?
So,
Mr. Sherry, simple English Bible.
Mr. Sherry.
So yes, sir.
The bottom line, before I go to Mr. George here, the bottom line I try to sense and just get me to the point because I'm on an obligation to have a concise information to my audience. It seems to me what you are driving is the oppositions are the one that orchestrated this here to picture perhaps the president or the administration ugly because potential security forces were going in, correct?
Be better so if you are not fat, I'm going to say, please come on my back. If you are not fair play, I'm going to say, please come on.
Is that yes to my back? Is that yes to my question? Is that yes?
So the opposition now should be working along with government to inform the people, but at the end of the day, they finish forming their own block. But again, I will say this, and I owe nobody apology and no regret. The people then they want that, so at the end of the day, they can say, the honor president, we have to 10 human being down, 20 human being down. They won't do it, but it will not happen. It will not happen.
Mr. Sharif.
Yes, sir.
Is that yes to my question?
That is a very yes. It's a very, very yes.
Okay, hold on one second. Mr. George.
Yes.
This is quite interesting. Look at Mr. Sherry's argument and that of Christopher's Tobasi. It seems to me that these guys, their body, Christopher is a research guy, is established, they are hardcore supporter of the CDC-led government, which is great, which is good. Is he taking the political line here?
Mr. Soe, it is absurd. When Mr. Sherry cannot, you asking, you trying to push him. He cannot name one person. And this is why I always say, if in that much you are brave to come on, you should brave to call people names. Mr. Sherry just contradicted himself. He said he saw one of the council of churches members going to the airfield to talk to somebody pastor and did not want to listen to him. Then he jumped around the opposition. Why can you call somebody for names?
Okay, hold on one second here. Let me put in on an LPR tribunal here. Prince, let's have this here. This is, you will not be executed, believe me here. This is just a discussion purposes. Are you willing to call who is responsible? Do you think, do you have an inside source? Do you have any information leading to the actions of this church that have done this?
Big brother, so let me say this, that opposition members are on record of going on the social media and saying that the government itself is seriously, that the government is playing politics with it. Instead of going on the social media or going on the news media and telling the people.
Yeah, but when you say opposition members, what is the standing, the character, how you want to characterize these people? Are they officials? Are they making official statements? Should we hold any supporters of the ruling party decision comments or utterance on the social media as the work of the government? Is that what you're telling me?
Yaka Koluba is a member of the opposition bloc, and he is on record. Yaka Koluba is a member of the opposition bloc. It's on record. We have the how you call Facebook comments of some people saying that the government, key members of the opposition bloc, who some of them they can use different page. We know them because you can't play with all in America here.
It seems to me the techniques. It seems to me you are using different ones too because only witchcraft can do a witchcraft.
Oh no, people. So my name is Prince Sharif. You know me. I get only one name. I appear anywhere that Prince Sharif appear there. Well, I don't believe in that.
I never went in your computer before. Am I working with Facebook?
No, okay, I will not do that. I will not do that. Okay, I will not do that.
All right, I'll take you for your word. All right, hold your PC a little bit. 609 number here 7227. Are you there?
Yeah, Mr. So, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
Mr. So, my name is Orlando Nyika. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Okay, Mr. Nyika, help us out here. It seems to me yet, I don't know, it's 2 against 1 or 1 against 2. So let's see if you can break the tie. You listen to the 2 or 3 gentlemen, right? And you've been following the conversation?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let make you what? A presiding officer to or judge of this case here. But honestly, on a serious note here, what you make of these discussions and the current trend in terms of the behavior of some Christian community or this particular church? I don't know whether they are part of the Council of Churches. I don't know what their independence or what their status is with respect to the Council of Churches. But this seems to be taking the political line.
Yeah, Mr. So let me ask a question. The other guy that on the other side, have you ever heard any member of the Council of Churches to come on air to condemn the behavior of that church?
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, Mr. So.
What I mean? What you say? Your question is directed to me?
I said there's the other guy on the other side. Can you come out to answer this question? Since that thing happened, the behavior of this or the church that we talk discussing right now, did anybody from the Council of Churches ever came on air to condemn the behavior?
No, the answer is no. But remember, not every church is in Liberia are part of the Council of Churches.
Yes, every church. Every church is part of the Council of Churches of Liberia. Listen, I'm very self.
Okay, hold on. Let him make a point. And then you
listen. I'm very self here. I'm from a church in Liberia. Every church in Amos, you are registered with the government as a church. You are part of the Council of Churches of Liberia. You understand me? You are part. If even you are not part of the Council of Churches, if even you are not part of the Council of Churches, what do which role? Listen.
Hold on, let's do it one at a time.
Can you give me a break? The Council of Churches are there to supervise all of the churches in Liberia. They are the head. Listen. Not say no. When anything arises with churches in Liberia, who they can send there? The leaders of the Council of Churches don't say no. The leader of when things happen between churches in Liberia, who can go there to investigate it? They're the leader of the Council of Churches. You understand me? So if you're saying that the people are not part of the Council of Churches, and the Council of Churches are the eyes of the churches in Liberia, the behavior of these people, tell me, why you think the Council of Churches should have done? They remain silent since the behavior of the people, not the first time, not the second time. The identical church. Did they come on air to condemn the behavior, or did they come on air to make this clear to the churches or the Liberian people that we are not part of the church, that behaving like this to the government or to the Liberian people? Did they? Can you answer my question, please?
Okay, so Mr. Nyika, hold on. Hold on, guys. Let me come to A here quickly. So, Mr. Nyika, right? Am I calling your name right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what I'm hearing from you, because I've tried to reach out to these people, and we'll try to do that here. Are you saying this particular church, or is say at norms, all of the churches are registered under the Council of Churches? Is that the case in Liberia?
In Liberia, I will say 100% yes. In the much, yes. If you register with the government of Liberia, you understand me? You are part of the Council of Churches.
So the 100% you are referring to is the 100%. The church in question we are talking about, is it part of that 100%?
Well, Mr. So I cannot tell you yes or no.
So then, how can you come and make such a
what I'm saying here, Mr. So, what I'm saying here,
it's just a general.
No, Mr. So, what I'm saying here, what are the register with the Council of Churches? People will always say, will they matter right now? People will conclude that they are part of the Council of Churches.
Okay.
So to remove the Council of Churches from this behavior of the church.
Okay.
So why do you think the Council of Churches could have done?
Okay, I think I get where you are going. So this seems to me to draw a parallel line here, like in the case of the PUEL or AJA, if any group here that you tend to claim to be a media institution, if they do anything wrong, it is the responsibility of AJA, which of course I'm a member, to say, hey, even though this is a group, so, but we are not part of this group. Is that where you
part of their behavior? Yes.
Okay, good.
The Council of Churches came out to say that. Okay. Can the brother answer that? Then I will come on to say the next thing I have to say.
Okay. So hold your peace small, but Mr. George, before you come in, I know by 6 o'clock I will make way for the Liberal Progressive. And let me bring in this number here, 717 number 2909. Call it. Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is James David calling from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Mr. David. All right.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Let me James Davis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me read your tweet here and we can come into that discussion. That's not true. Many Nigerian guys running churches that are not registered with the Council of Churches. So it means you're taking a different side of what the discussion, what is going on. What's your version of this whole thing here?
The guy who's saying every church in Liberia is under the Council of Churches is lie and misleading. You don't know how the Council of Churches came about or how it is established. Okay. You don't even know who all go for meeting or who they can appoint to go for meeting. They get churches all in the villages in Liberia. They are not members of Council of Churches. The Council of Churches don't take decision for them. The Council of Churches are few group of churches in Monrovia and in surrounding that organize themselves, they call themselves Council of Churches. They get a lot of churches in Liberia that are not members of Council of Churches. And the Council of Churches don't even get far on them. They're just special group of churches view. They're not even plenty. So he must not come and lie. Most of the churches then are going all around the community, post people also and do what they want just to collect money from people. They're not Council of Churches.
Hey, looking for offering.
If you can control your speech a little bit, it'll be better.
Yeah. Okay. So is there any word maybe we can replace with lie? That seems a little bit.
Yeah. If you can control your utterance a little bit, it'll be better, brother.
But I'm not
right here. So when your child in your house call you lie, papa you lie, you feel good, right?
But you know my age before you tell me I'm gonna call you papa.
No, what I'm saying, I say your father, your children in your home.
Okay, gentlemen.
When they call you that you lying, will you feel good?
Okay, gentlemen, let's cease fire. So
that being so rude on your part. Okay.
Yeah, okay, you can hold on 1 second. Let me settle this here. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Are you guys there? Okay. Okay, hold on. We are not here. So, Mr. Davis, I think our dear friend is uncomfortable with that word, so maybe we can replace it with something, and that's part of why we want to respect people.
Mr. Alphonso, that's the English word the white man made. It was speaking English. So, going in our traditional language, we can say different things. Lie is lie. When you lie, you lie. There's nothing behind your policy.
Okay, so okay. Hold your peace. So, Mr. Nyika.
Yes, I'm listening, sir.
There was an argument that Mr. Davis also injected, which seems to claim my attention. There are tons of churches outside of Monrovia in these villages and all of that. Do you think all of these people are embedded within the Council of Churches? Do they get voice? Do they have voice into what Council of Churches is doing in Monrovia? You think so?
Mr. So. And I would say what I said earlier. When anything goes wrong with any church in Liberia, the first group of people the government will call is the Council of Churches. It's not an identical church. Okay. Not because you are not part of the Council of Churches. But when anything goes on wrong, if you do anything wrong in Liberia, the first group of people they will call is the Council of Churches. You should understand that. He will tell me to say I'm lying. He can call any bishop anywhere. They will tell you the same thing I'm telling him.
So, but then my question to you here is: did the police or the government inform the Council of Churches before arresting those pastors?
The government discussed with the Council of Churches. Listen to me. The government discussed with the Council of Churches, and they told everybody not to be home, not to go to church. They told every church in Liberia not to go to church. That identical church choose to go to church. It was not the only church that won the church. Other churches won the church. But when the police got there, they left the church. Okay? You guys look at something that is wrong because you guys are against the government. So you look at uplifting and support it.
So okay, hold on 1 second here. So now it looks like
somebody will say we're not calling lie.
It's look like more or less, but it's so hard to divert politics from whatever discussion you're going to have here. So do you? Come in, hold on 1 second. So do you agree with the two previous comments? This has to do with politics, and somebody is doing this maybe to blackmail or to post taint on the government. So do you see this as part of mere politics?
No, Mr. So no, I differ with the two brothers who say it's the politics that people trying to play. I differ with that. But my point here is this. You see, when people are claiming that they are because the church is the representative of God. All right. So if you are the image of God on earth, telling people the words of God, you have to show the example of the God that we serve. You cannot then respect anybody that God said you are on his side. No way. Because our God is a respectful God. You don't like people to dare respect other people. When you go in the Bible, it's there. You got to respect your leader. Not only your leader, your parents. You understand me? So that fellow who said I'm lying, where maybe his understanding, I don't know how you understand council of churches or churches in Liberia, how they do things.
Okay.
Well, it's left with him.
All right.
But one thing I know, the attitude that our church exhibited is wrong. And the Liberian Council of Churches should have come up to condemn.
Position statement.
Because people will refer to them that the entire churches in Liberia are disrespecting the government.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me bring in Pa George.
Mr. Alphonso,
yeah.
Let me just come in a little bit.
Who's that, David?
Sometimes the government make statement, opposite statement, all kind of statement. And people talk in the market, people talk all kind of things. But have you ever seen the government come also now and make a statement too?
Wow. You see
listen. That one makes the government, when it comes to that, hold on 1 second. Now you are talking, you were front on the man of not using
but listen to what he's saying.
So is it?
I'm not saying he's talking stupid. I say he's not talking with no logic.
He's not talking with no logic. So it's a payback of his word that you use. So I think it's equal now, no parting. So we hope we keep it safe here. Okay, so hold on 1 second. Come in, Christopher, before you go. Pa George wanted to make a response, and then I'm not going. Yeah, I said Pa George wanted to make a response, and then I'm gonna give you guys one closing statement before I exit here for something too. So, Pa George.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, go ahead.
From what I'm seeing unfolding, it is quite amazing. There will be no ending discussions, whether it is on humanitarian basis or whatever case it will be. There will be no ending conversations without mere politics, whether they're the traditional politicians or those sitting on the fence, without it being injected.
No, but you can see, I think the three guests that you had, you can see where they're coming from. The last guest I spoke to pointed it out and say those are the opposition. But here's the thing I want to tell people. The Council of Churches do not regulate all the churches in Liberia. They don't. Originally, when you used to get the Council of Churches, were few churches in Monrovia, and those churches were what? The Baptist, the Methodist, the Lutheran, the Catholic Church. At the time, those were the people that were calling the Council of Churches. After the war, you have Windsor then adding onto it. The Aladula Church, they are not part of the Council of Churches. They are many Pentecostal churches in Liberia. They are not part of the Council of Churches. Now, for you to say, because one or two churches did wrong, so the Council of Churches is obliged to respond. No, they are not. Because all the churches are considered independent. If they do something, the government wants to go after them, they will go after them. So the Adua churches, they don't report, they are not part of the Council of Churches. Why you want to hold the action, or why you want to hold the Council of Churches for the Adua church action? No, you can't do like that. Somebody is not a journalist. Say something. Why would you want to hold the PUF responsible? If they wish, they can come out. If the person link them, they can come out to disassociate themselves. But if the person doesn't link them,
I'm curious here. I'm curious here. They never that group. Are they? Who are they? Are they Christian? Are they Buddhist? They are who?
You see, they are not part of the council of churches, but they consider themselves as Christians.
Okay.
So when people come here,
I want to add my voice.
Yeah, hold on. No. After this, now we gotta go. Everybody, I know there will be discontent. Anything we can file in protest. Yeah, come in. We're gonna do it. I gotta go.
I never interjected politics here.
I'm not referring to you. I'm just making a general statement. It's not directed at you. So let Pa George wrap up. So we wrap it up real quick. There are other people.
I just want to say this. I know this thing it became very emotional, tense, because all the people feel that people are not saying what they want to hear or taking side. But the issue is someone come and make someone a line statement like Mr. Sherry said. There are people who want for people to die so they can blame personal wear. And Mr. Sherry cannot call one of these people he's referring to. He only refer, the Facebook post, this and that. And that is just ridiculous because you can't come and put other people in that kind of category. Why would you say, who Liberian be willing praying God for another Liberian to die? I mean, hey, my brother, I'm not talking about the president on that. He said the president on that.
Hey, guys, I don't usually kind of like get into this. Let us not have honor talking, then we're going to get our listening viewers and those are following that will get them confused. Okay, Pa George, make your.
Okay, no, Mr. So I just wanted to say thank you for the conversation.
Okay, just hold on. Since you are our analyst, hold on. Let me go to these guys, and after that, you will make a closing statement. I want to wrap up now. Okay, Christopher, go ahead. At least 2 minutes is okay. Go ahead quickly.
The point I want to make here is that we need to start, whether the politics or whatever. I was straight up here today. I said that the council of church, the church have a responsibility. You know, there should be a separation between church and state. But when there is a national emergency, when there is a pandemic, the church has a responsibility here to work with the government to ensure safety and security. Health and safety come first. Mr. Soe, the church is wrong. The Christian Church of Liberia, the church of your council have not spoken. They have not criticized. They have not condemned. They are not disinvolved. They are not distancing themselves from these people. And they need to come out and do that. My other point I want to make is Henry Costa intends. He said that he was going to kill the president if he had the opportunity. He wants to kill him.
During this thing? Hold on 1 second. During this? Hold on, Christopher. Are you saying during this church saga? Is that what Henry Costa said?
No, I told you when I came on, I said I got 2 points to make. One is the church and the corona thing. The second one is the Henry Costa issue. By calling for the death of the president, they intend. I said that they should indict him. People should start to call on the government of Liberia to indict Henry Costa for threatening to murder the president. We can talk our politics, we can disagree, but you don't threaten the life of the president and the state.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, but Joy, hold on 1 second. You are closing this. So hold on. Let me go to 443 number here, 3556. Prince, make your 1 minute closing statement, please. Prince, are you there? Prince, are you there? Okay. Well, airplane can blow home. Okay, 609 number 517726. 8 Henry, you can call now. Let you make your statement before I go. 609, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
I'm here.
Okay, make your final argument 1 minute before I let you go.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. So the churches in Liberia, the council of churches need to come out to condemn the attitude of that.
Yeah.
And because
please lower your background. Not you, Henry. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. No, not you.
So, debit card.
You gotta mute your phone here. If you're not talking about what's his name, Henry.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, just lower your phone here, I mean, or you either mute your phone, your background,
Okay.
or we're hearing the car. We want you to call the number before somebody. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr.
Six
So,
609. Yeah.
yeah, Mr. So the church need to come out, to say something, more especially the council of churches, because if they refuse to do that, people will always blame them, as we also blaming them right now. When it comes to what my brother was saying about Costa behavior, right now we don't talk about Costa behavior, but Costa behavior, we'll come to that, because you cannot do that continuously. And the people who always condemn the government when government do something, they have not come out to say something about Costa behavior by threatening the life of the president of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. So, I have not heard anything from you too.
Who, me?
I need to hear from I need to hear from you, Mr. So.
I don't think you have then you have not followed me. There is
Okay.
there is no ground that there is no.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. If you said something about it, I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't, because all the time I monitor the show. Maybe that I missed this. I missed the identical time you were talking.
No one works free on this network here. It can be who.
Okay,
so
thank you very
this
much,
is why we hold people. Everybody. Why you think I'm questioning you, including yourself, myself?
That's why. That's why I always follow your show, because I know what you can do. I know what you stand for. So, brother, I'm not against the church in Liberia. I'm a Christian. But what the churches are doing right now is wrong. They have to be the example of the Liberian people. See the example that the Muslims are showing to their people, to their followers. So we, the Christians too, we have to educate our people on this kind of problem that the whole world faces with. Not only Liberia. The churches have to play their own part. You cannot play your part in a way that you want to devour the Liberian people, because if you do that, they have other people, parents going to the church. So when the police go in to start beating them up, other people will get annoyed with the police. So the church have to stop.
Okay.
They have to stop.
All right. Thank you so much, my man.
Yeah.
All right. I will call you after the show so you pay fine for for accusing me of something that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. That's all right. Okay. It's 77, Mary. I'm going to come to you. 771. Then two of us going to leave it. 771 number 717-2909. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, Porter. Break the yoke here before we let you go. Why you gather from this conversation here this evening? What are we not understanding? What is the problem?
What I gather from this conversation, they blaming council or churches and whatever. There are certain villages, you go throughout the breath of the breath. People say going to church in certain villages because they don't even believe they get a virus there. People going to church. They are not members of council or church. Council or church don't have control over all the churches in Liberia. It's just a PUL. PUL don't have control over Henry Costa.
Exactly. He's not a member of, as far as I'm concerned,
No,
he's not a member of PUL. And he made that crystal clear.
Yeah, make it clear. He's not a member of the PUL. So PUL will not get control over whatever Henry Costa say. You want to say that he business, you can say it. So when people come out and make a blanket statement that they don't know what they call council of churches, so now it has someone off because they believe other Christian churches. Most of the churches are not council of churches.
But realistically, okay, so yeah, even though I gave you a 1 minute, but realistically, in looking at the bigger picture of it and the denomination, do you think it was necessary that the Council of Churches also disassociate herself from the actions of this Christian group, the church? Do you think they should have done that, maybe to set the deal right?
The first thing, the government made mistake when they called the Council of Churches to order. They never gave the Council of Churches statement that you all tell all your churches nobody want to attend church for so and so for 100 days, for 30 days, for this one. They discuss different matter. You see, a lot of people went to church, even down to the senator of Nima County. He went to church. Police director was to a church. He said he don't get no information. So there was no awareness. The government never made awareness. They did it to water side. They broke all the market table all around the place.
That's another ridiculous thing.
When last speaker he said, you bring your hair so we can get solution. What the solution you going to get?
After causing harm, right?
After causing harm. So most of the things, what they call to come to the Henry Costa issue.
No, I don't want to dwell. Let's leave that. I don't want to dwell that. This Henry Costa syndrome.
What they say, What if you say Costa say he's gonna kill the president? No, he didn't say me. The statement I heard, he didn't say he kill the president. He said he hoped that the president can die. Or party.
You know the thing, I don't like to dwell into Costa issue. He has made some ridiculous statements in the past, in the present. He continues to do that, and I just feel he has a major factor to voice within the opposition bloc. There's a way that it can be done to favor the interests of the opposition, but it's not been properly interpreted, and nobody is standing up to that task. But that's not my focus yet. I have made my position clear on that.
Yeah, when the government do wrong too.
That's what we say.
That come operating for the government.
We say.
They come and say the government do wrong. Then the money they gave them for the virus, they gave under the health ministry $700 and some more $1,000. What happened to the other one? What happened to it?
Okay, on that, like I tell you, our request has been with the director of public health, Dr. Musuka. We have reached Dr. Jala, who is Wolaminda Jala, who is the Minister of Health, and this is a discouraging part here. Both the government, the opposition, people have selected which way to go in terms of where they want to get their agenda because they want to have a free pass. But until I have the opportunity to ask those people what was given and how it's been the portion, I will be able to speak to it. But other than that, it will just be based on speculation here.
So it's better you bring them on board, and please send invitation to members of the Council of Churches or the chief or the Council of Churches to come.
No, I will contact my guys, the health minister and the chief medical officer. I get tons of text messages here that we agree, and then at the end of the day, they don't show also. But we will get a word from the Council of Churches. I think that is very, very much important. It's a very unique institution. They should somehow, some way, give a statement, but I don't want to. I haven't seen anything out there. It does not mean it's not there, so I don't want to be judgmental. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me bring my man here. 484, are you there? 484.
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I guess you've been following the discussion. You've been calling here. Thank you for being so patient here. It seems to me there's something inside you want to throw out here. You've been listening, you've been following online, you listen to the other folks that were speaking their honest mind.
I followed it from the beginning, but I just want to address about the Council of Churches.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
And right now, okay. Most of them are right that all the churches in Liberia are not members of Council of Churches.
Okay.
That's right. But if there's any crisis, the government will not go from church to church from Liberia, as you said, or never that church. No. If any crisis happens, the government go directly to the Council of Churches to meet or to follow up with the Council of Churches to go and meet a particular church. Because you expect the government to go from church to church, from village to village, from town to town. So the Council of Churches represent all the churches in Liberia. Yes, all the other members, but they somebody be represented. They are represented to the government. Mm-hmm. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, listening.
Yeah, so what he was saying that they have to come out, the 25 things that have come out. If the government talks to them, they have to go out and get the word out there.
So do you strongly believe the action by this church in question here, I don't know yet until I have the opportunity to speak with someone from the Council of Churches, but do you strongly believe in the meanwhile that the Council of Churches should come up with a position statement, for example?
Yes. They didn't come up with a statement and say, well, please, people, they don't say that do not pray. They didn't say that do not read a Bible. They were saying close down for a few weeks or a month or 2 months.
Okay. But
so you can pray, you can read a Bible, 2 or 3 persons, yes, fine. But you got to close down, especially most around in my Gibi, 2 counties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was close down. Exactly.
So you can read your Bible in your house. You can pray. You can pray whatever you're going to pray. You can be in your house. You can remove your roof to pray. That's fine, but not together.
Okay.
So as soon as that it's the attack on the church. It's not an attack on the church, and they say, "Oh, they're going to kill me. You're going to kill me." No.
Okay.
Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Now, what seems to be gathering now, they are giving government the legs, the arms, and the strength, the power to say, okay, some more regulations most likely might be constituted, and then they will say the government is trying to get in everyone's life. Yeah, that's a different game here. But before I let you go, you listen to the other previous callers. It seems to me that from their understanding, this is the actions of the oppositions. Is that a normal concept to also believe that it is the opposition orchestrated it? Any evidence for us to come to that? Not on innuendos, not on conspiracy theory. Is there any evidence of the opposition being involved on the actions of this church? Any strong person or executive of any opposition black is being identified? Those are the kind of things that I look for.
Well, for me, I'm not seeing opposition in this. I believe there are pastors out there who want, to gather to go pray, and they believe that when they come together, they can rebuke the demon, they can cure the sickness. They believe because I must say, I'm an evangelist. So I'm an evangelist. Like, when we started praying in Moreover, that we believe that during the wartime, we should pray. Whether flight or not, we should continue to pray, and then the war will cease. So there are people who out there believe that demon chasers say.
Right.
That world, since the sickness out there, if we come together and pray, this sickness will stop. If we come together and fast and pray and meet every Sunday, this sickness will go away. Yes, that's true. It is true. But if the government say start for now, give it time, give the government time. So I'm going to say it's opposition stuff. We see even the USA happening here. Yesterday we saw a church that had service yesterday in the US here.
Right.
So we're not going to say, oh, that's opposition. So I'm not going to say it's opposition or not opposition, but people out there, Christians, most of we the Christians, especially those who spend more time with God, some believe they are demon chasers. So we want to go and say, well, because we are Christians, we all want to pray for this sickness to go away so the government cannot stop us. If the government stop us, this will not happen. But some forgetting that God is not in that building.
Okay.
God is in you, and God can use it anytime. It's not in the building.
All right. Thank you so much.
So that would forgetting about. So I can say it's the opposition saying I will not say yes to that. So I will not say yes. No.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any fast and prayer or special sort of intercessory part on account sort of churches of the Christian community or the Muslim community so far since this whole coronavirus? Anything of such going on? Are you aware?
In Africa, in the US,
in Liberia.
In Liberia, I hear anything for the council of churches, but no few churches that are doing it right now.
Okay, they are individual
Few
churches.
churches are doing it on their own. Yes, few are doing it by their own self, but we're telling well, if I were there, I'd say where people can go to Maryland, Grand Virginia, those churches that are open now in Liberia County, Grand Bassa, because they were not close, they can fast and pray. Because moreover, the person not gathering of more than 10%.
Okay. All right.
Most of it in my GB County.
All right.
So those who outside the other counties, you can do it. Or you can do it personally, one or two person, like in most of the other counties, but not a group. For now.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, bro.
Okay. So, Pa George.
Yes, sir.
This is quite interesting. It is amazing as to how things are being processed, how information is being obtained, and those who are the facilitator of this information. Yeah, it suggests to me we are still far from the to get this maritime finish. But let me get your honest take here. Outside of politics, put all the gamuts of liberalization policy to be a nationalist. And looking at the country, the sovereign nations are one of the odious in the republic. The way things are moving and things are taking, the divisiveness, the divide, the politics in Liberia is getting uglier and ugly.
Mr. Soe, I said that sometimes I want, and I've been taking sometimes when I think, it put fear in me. It really put fear in me to see the way the country is drifting. And so I'm trying to reflect. Back when we were growing up in Morovia, we did not see the kind of hate messages. I thought there was no Facebook, but you went to school, you didn't see that kind of device. In the street, you didn't see it. Today, it's a different thing. When people come to discuss issues, I mean, some people look at black and say it's blue. And when you argue, they say, oh, you're on the other side. When you argue, the other side say you're on the other side. So, and everybody got audiences that they talk to. This kind of time, or even normal time, why would someone come and insinuate that certain people praying God for certain people to die so this person can take the blame? I mean, that is just outrageous. Then when the actor said, name one person, you say, oh, but you can't see the people. But you have made a statement, definitive statement that these are the people that are doing it. Then you say, call one person, then you say, oh, go to Facebook, you see the other person, you see the other person. Why we have reached that point? We have reached that point because some of us feel that certain thing is like entitlement. That certain people did certain thing at a time, so it is not time for us to do it, for us to do our part. So even if we are doing it wrong, nobody should talk. This is the point we are reached. And many of these people who talking, they know. How many times were they in Liberia that they saw the council of churches going to other churches, all the Pentecostal churches that got today in Liberia? They were not part of the council of churches. They had never been. But people want to assume that, oh, see, when you say Christian, anything you do, if the council of churches doesn't speak, that means they are in line with you. This is the problem. And sometimes people go back and do some research. How can someone come here and say the churches in Liberia have failed the Liberian people? Then the person they say, oh, I grew up in the church. But if you grew up in the church and that church had no discipline, why you were there? Why your family took you? Why your parents took you to that church? But you come back to say, oh, the churches have failed Liberia. They have not done nothing in Liberia. Then when you ask them, oh, but why would you make the blanket statement? Oh, no, don't ask me because I didn't quantify the word. I should have made your ES and I didn't put the ES, so you want to take it that way. No. You are openly making this kind of statement. And sometimes, so I'm sorry, so many things you just got to stop to get a little pushback because if you don't do so, people will get away with it. That's why sometimes when I try to say, hey, no, don't do that, it's not that I want to be rude, but you can't see someone making this kind of blatant statement. You know, and for them to
people don't just make a statement here. And part of this profession here, you have to, because I do not want somebody to, when they are saying something and I just intercept the inner tone and say, oh, I'm not going to say it. So I listen attentively to make sure where their landing will be, and then I can come in to hold you of what you are saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you for that, because you saw the gentleman when you start pushing, he said, oh, no, I didn't mean to this way. He come, he said 100%. Now when you ask him, he said, no, I'm not talking about 100%, but at least this. Now, how can you make that kind of statement? And this is the point we are reaching now in this community we are in. And I can honestly tell you, so every time I sit down, I somehow get a prayer for Liberia. Because the way now we see things, because we believe in one or two persons, and those people, anything they do, we don't want anybody to question them, because we look up to them. We believe in them. So anything that does, when you say that, then they say, oh no, you are from the group. Okay. But this is the point we are reached. And I just want to say thank you to the Liberian Public Radio, for the brilliant way you're doing, because many people will not do any kind of pushback you're doing. And when they push back, people who viewing the show will say, hey, but the person making all they know this is not true, because the question that they're asking, he can't answer, then he's trying to back up. And this is why I said thank to the Liberian Public Radio and to you and the management team for continuing to do a brilliant job. But this is the point we are reached. I think we all need to take a step back and put Liberia on a microscope, not individual or not few group of people. This is what we need to do.
Okay, that's Mr. Amos George from Orlando City, who is also a contributor of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Pa George, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. All right, folks, this is how we're going to wrap it up here this evening. I want to say a big thank you to all of my followers, our listeners, and those of you that have been tweeting, following. That's what we do. We make information proportionate, giving to the view, giving the voice for everybody to air their grievances, their opinions, their views, which, of course, is not the representations of the staff and management of the Liberia Public Radio. But we do help to facilitate these conversations, and we have said this consistently over and over. Government officials, oppositions, ordinary citizens, advocate, community. If you come on this network, you will be held responsible of your comments, your statement, especially when we have the opportunity where you will be speaking. I don't think you're going to make a blanket statement here, a sweeping statement without an ending, without anything, and you're going to walk away. But I have come to realize, because of the desperations of the information processing and people eager, anxious, overzealous to find information, Liberians and Facebook blockers subscribe to any network, any platform because they are in desperation. And because every platform is uniquely positioned in its context in terms of people that are going to be speaking with or the demographic that they are communicating with, gives them the courage to throw rare meat sound bites and whatever they want to say to satisfy the listening audience. It's both on the government, pro-government supporter side and that of the opposition is everywhere. And it is clearly and evident. This is why most of those people have become more selective where to go to channel their message, because they try to avoid or pivot and answer tough questions that needs to be answered as either leader or advocate community or as stakeholders. But for us here at Liberia Public Radio, we will try to maintain the 10 basic principles or elements of journalism which make our institution to set itself apart differently than that of United. Does that mean we are 100% perfect? Absolutely not. But on so many occasions, both the government and the oppositions, we are front on them. And as we front on those people, we also make recommendations. It is within the purviews of the government or those in charge or receiving the information to take an ultimate decision. And we strongly condemn the actions by this church. But it would be very judgmental to draw the conclusion without getting all of the details or without hearing from the Council of Churches. But it sounds most likely reasonable or reasoning, a good thinker, that the Council of Churches could perhaps maybe issue a statement as to where they stand and whether to tell the Liberian people whether this institution or this church is also a registered member or part of the Council of Churches. Understanding the nomenclature of the name bearing and that of the religion itself, one could make an educated guess that indeed they are part of the Council of Churches. We hope to also get word from the Council of Churches as long they are willing and what is their definitive position. Until we can be selective, until we can be a little cautious of people that will listen to. I have gone to all or listened to most of the network on two names, either Alphonso Zean Soe or LIB Messenger. Those are the two accounts. Why? We always want to unveil or reveal our true self and listen to both eye and be able to make judgment. And I've come to realize both the pro-government supporters and the opposition, they have preached soundbite, rare meats, innuendos, no facts, but help to also create this problem. And it is so much to the pleasures of their listeners and their followers. Why? Because they choose what they want to hear, and their hosts or angles of the very network play directly into their hands. So the conspiracy theory is not just only in Liberia, it's everywhere in the world. You have seen that here in the USA from President Donald Trump. And even the Republicans, when this whole coronavirus emerged, it said it was a hoax or it was a make-up by the Democrat as another way to unseat this president. Now we know, and we all know, that indeed it's a virus. Well, just quickly before we go, latest report now from Africa News: 180 countries globally infected with this virus. 2 countries added dead, making it 52 countries in Africa. Sao Tome and Principe already added it. And guess what? The cabinet ministers in Rwanda, they are making their salary donations in an attempt to combat the COVID-19 coronavirus, to aid or supplement government initiative. Ministers of government, they are making their 1 month salary available to national government in the fight, or perhaps to supplement international or agency fight against coronavirus. This is the up-to-date as of 3 o'clock. Confirmed 9,701 deaths, 479 recovery rate 947. Infected countries 52. Virus-free countries so far is Lesotho and the Comoros. Wow, that's a good news. Well, folks, that does it this evening. I want to thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Stay tuned. By 7:30 to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the Liberal Progressive of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV, Samson Bloku Branto, will be taken over from the studio beat of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. I will be back here tomorrow. A lot is ongoing, and we have to keep you up to speed to have a genuine conversation. I'm not out of favor so much to be reading comments when it is necessary at my own time and giving. We can do that. But also you can watch us live on www.liberiapublicradio.com or go to YouTube, where you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thereby you can receive an alert when Liberia Public Radio is on. We'll do everything possible to talk to those that are in charge of the information as long as they are willing. We'll bring them here, and it is their good. It's free promotions. It's free public relations. So there will be no reason why these people would not want to show up. Well, folks, I want to thank you so much for being part of this evening conversation here. The old man on the wall there say it's time for me to go. It's 6:18 Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR-TV. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant evening. And as we wrap up this evening, I will be leaving you with the songs of Minister to Pastor Wendell is in Liberia with the song Yahweh.
You are too much for me, Jehovah Rabboni. You are too much for me, Ancient of Days. You are too much for me. You are more than enough. You are too much for me. You are bigger than the world I see. You are too much for me. No one like you, Lord. You are too much for me. Nobody will ever take your place, Lord. You are too much for me. 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 You are too much, Jehovah. You are too much for me. 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 Yahweh, you are too much for me. Yahweh, oh, Yahweh, you are too much for me. Hey, Yahweh, oh, you are too much for me. Jehovah Elohim. for me. You are too much for me. Patience are there. You are too much for me. Jehovah Rabboni. You are too much for me. Patience are there. You are more than enough. You are too much for me. 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 Let everything that has breath give the Lord praise. It doesn't matter. Oh, you are too much for me.
Lord, I wanna be wherever you are. Your presence is a paradise for me. Lord, I wanna stay wherever you are, Papa. Your presence is a paradise for me. Where can I be without your presence? Your presence is a paradise for me. Your presence, your presence, your presence, your presence. Your presence is a paradise for me. I've been searching for a place all my life, a place I can call my own, a place I can feel safe and rescue. No, I find none, I find none until I enter your presence. In your presence, mountain must bow. In your presence, my problem shall bow. Even darkness can never stand. In your presence, the net shall shine like the day. Your presence gives sight to the blind. Your presence gives healing to the cripple. Your presence caused the dead to rise again. Your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. Lord, I wanna be in your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. Mountain must bow in your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. Disappointment must bow in your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. I have liberty in your presence, Jehovah. Your presence is a paradise for me.
All of the benches have been thrown out and destroyed, and the resistant ones are being arrested and taken away. This is members of the All Saints Assembly, aka
show. When if you're observing what's going on, you will not be doing that. Some people should be defiant to government instruction.
So, if you're just tuning in, this is School Online 2 and we're live from the I'm breathless. I'm breathless right now because there have been a police operation here this morning around the GSA Road Painsville community area where believers believed to be members of the All Saints Assembly, aka the Holiness Church, they were in direct defiance of the government regulations that there should be no gathering of more than 10 or all churches should be closed. But this church, they were all in defiance of the rule, of the regulation that have been put into place. And because of that, the police came during their service, talked to the pastors, but they refused to adhere. And now they've all of the pastors who were there, they've been arrested. They've been arrested and apprehended. Some of the members and some of the pastors have all been arrested, and they'll be taken away. As you are viewing right now, it's a police operation on the way where these guys, they were all taken. They will be taken away to Central. And this church, the All Saints Assembly, aka Holiness Church or Holiness Movement, they have a tendency to violate the laws. As you saw in the video, the police were very professional to talk to them, but the pastors and the leaders, they refused to listen. So that prompted the police to arrest the leaders, and they've been arrested and they have been taken over to Central.
Leave the road. Leave the road. Leave the road. You get him on the road. Get him on the road. Get him on the road. Stupid ass.
Too damn in this country, man.
Well, if you're just tuning in, this is School Online 2 and we're live from the GSA Road community where members of the All Saints Assembly, aka Holiness Church, have gone and defied authority today. They've assembled in their numbers to come and have service here. And the police politely told them not to assemble like this, and he spoke with the leaders, spoke with the pastors, but they were in strict defiance, and they defied. So because they defied, the leaders of the church branch here, All Saints Assembly, GSA Road, they've been arrested, and the pastors have been arrested here. They've been packed in this car, in the police vehicle, and the members.
Sister, please go home. You are baby man. Please go home. Listen. You are baby man. Please go home. Please. Mama, you take out a big girl. Yeah, please leave. Yeah, listen. No, don't trust me. Keep the distance. Yeah, no. I know, but the power that talk about poverty, you know that? The poverty is greater cause. We the poverty is greater cause. They talk about poverty. When there's an epidemic, we stop at the church. We agree. Please, yeah?
So we're back in the church, and the members are refusing to leave, which have prompted the police to force them out. This is the All Saints Assembly, aka Holiness Church. They are in direct violation . All of the benches have been thrown out and destroyed, and the resistant ones are being arrested and taken away. This is members of the All Saints Assembly, aka
shall long be ours. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. Though new her name, great be her fame, and mighty be her power. And mighty be her power, and mighty be her power. 1, 2, 3, 4, in joy and gladness, with our hearts united, we'll shout the freedom of our rights united. Long live Liberia, happy land, this home of glory, liberty of God's command. This home of glory, liberty of God's command.